Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ludi Tonight on SplatoonTourney1. I am Jordan. I am here with Fall. How are you doing, Fall?
Hello, Jordan. I'm doing pretty good. Glad to be here on another Ludi, set commentating with you.
Yeah, of course. And I should mention what we have here tonight. First up on this channel, we have a Division 8A set between Anemones and Jam. These two teams are teams that have been around. They are names. They're not new teams. And up here on the screen right now, you will see the rosters. Each of these teams have 5 players. I don't know myself if they're going to be bringing all 5 and subbing players out between games, or if they will just have 4, and either way, that is up to them, and that is fine. What do you think, Fall?
I am quite familiar with Anemones. I feel like I've heard them before. I think I've seen them in previous tournaments that, I've competed in. Not sure about Jam. I don't think I remember them. But, it's a cool name, Jam. Simple. Simple team.
I know that Jam does play in a lot of the skill cap tournaments like Little Squid League and From the Gup. And they've been able to put some good runs in those tournaments. So here in Division 8, that might be exactly the kind of experience they need. And as we can see, they are 3-0 in the season so far, which is very good for their odds of making the playoffs. At this point, since we are in week 4 now, we're getting to the point where teams are going to make or break their playoff chances. Anemones, it would be a pretty difficult road for them at 1 and 2, but they could certainly play spoiler here for Jam if they take this win.
Right, I would agree with you. But, Jam could be, the stronghold on this end and, continue their, unbeaten record right here, which, can't we, maybe let's see if they can hold that off, if they can, impressive for them.
Yeah, certainly, and they will definitely be aiming to do that here, in this week 4 matchup.
Indeed. When are we going to see the map list, though? I'm quite curious to see what these teams are going to play in. Ooh, let me see. Greens is changing. First round is going to be in TC Undertow Spillway. All right. Well, listen. I don't think many people are going to agree with me here, but, I do like Undertow Spillway, It's something about the map. It's great. I don't know. It's just something. And with the rework, especially with that little funny little tunnel under the snipe area, I just like it a little more.
Yeah. We are more accustomed to seeing Rainmaker played on Undertow Spillway in competitive tournaments, but tower control has also been starting to appear more often recently. And so that is what the teams will have to be ready for here. There are 3 checkpoints, the first one being very close to the start, and so it's almost a non-issue to just get past that first checkpoint and to get the tower moving to the second. The second checkpoint is often where these games will be won or lost. If both teams can make it to the checkpoint, just being able to hold on to it and prevent the defense from taking it back there, that'll be key.
Mm-hmm. And look, third checkpoint being a little more riskier, with the third checkpoint being a lot closer to the enemy's base. So it's going to be a tough one for whoever's on the third checkpoint, Gotta watch out.
Indeed. Either way, we will see what these teams bring to this match. It does appear that they are most of the players have readied up. We won't be waiting too much longer to get right into it.
I just can't wait for more Undertale gameplay. It's my thing. I just can't wait to see the chaotic scenes.
Fair enough. Yeah. I'm excited to just see more Splatoon. See these teams going at it, fighting against each other, and seeing if either of them can bring something to the table that perhaps the other team isn't expecting. Maybe we'll see some unconventional weapon picks. This is Division 8. This is considered low level, and it's the area where a player's individual skill on a weapon can absolutely overcome what the meta is considered to be. And so now we are getting into it. There we see the Nautilus, and I think Luna Blaster or a Neo Luna Blaster. Yeah, that is the Neo Luna Blaster on the side of an enemy's coming out there. And on Jam we have the S15 both teams firing their ink at the tower. Oh, two going down on the side of an enemy's. Jam getting that pick. Looks like Finn got those picks, and now they are taking the tower. It is at that first checkpoint here, getting through the very short timer there, and they are already past that first checkpoint.
Yeah, this is already a clean start for, let's see what's here. Jam, yeah, great work from Jam, but unfortunately they do go 2 down, which gives enemies, that's going to be quite a mouthful to say, but an enemy's a great, starting point to get back through this, get through that first checkpoint, and so far so good, as they pull up a Zuka right here, trying to get a pick here, as they successfully do, but Jam with getting the tower back, but unfortunately 2 of them going down, and an enemy's straight back into the first checkpoint, trying to get that unlocked, which they might do, but Jam with the great Booyah Bomb right there, stopping an enemy's a little bit right there, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough, as enemies is straight back into it, as 2 go down from Jam.
Yeah, that Booyah Bomb coming out to stop the tower was pretty important there for Jam. However, Tari here getting back on the tower, and now an enemy's is trying to control the area around it, but that Crab Tank coming out from the splash on the side of Jam is able to get a couple picks. The team is able to get a couple of picks, and an enemy still haven't gotten through that first checkpoint. You wonder if they really need to focus more on controlling the space around it and making some space for themselves, getting in front of the tower, getting the numbers advantage before they are able to actually get that checkpoint. Oh, the pick there on the side of Jam is just going to delay an enemy's even longer.
Yeah, it's just quite unfortunate pushing timing for enemies, just reaching the first checkpoint, yes, but unfortunately, 2 specials stopping them from trying to unlock it, first a Booyah Bomb and then a Crab to just stop them. It's just quite unfortunate for enemies, and like you said, they really need to control spacing on their end, and it looks like, they might get the checkpoint from this, as 2 go from down from Jam, and they do successfully, as Tariq does get unlock Zuka and get a pick, and enemies get a lead here. Great from enemies, as they're already second checkpoint, and Jam goes 2 down, unfortunately, and it's quite looking good for enemies right here.
Yeah, it took them a while to get past that first checkpoint. The game is already halfway over, but an enemies having gotten through that first checkpoint were able to continue and carry that momentum all the way to the second one. Jam are going to have to get something going here. They do go down. Yoshi takes out Snap there, gets the pick. 2 are down on the side of an enemies, and Yoshi is continuing on, looking for more. Out comes the Booyah Bomb from Splatcat, and now Jam, they have the tower. They are increasing their score. The Booyah Bomb, another Booyah Bomb. They have 2 of those, and they got off the tower for a little bit. That might not be good. Every second matters here, and so Jam popping the Crab Tank. They are using their specials well. They are chaining them well, but it isn't enough at this point. And Jam, they get the tower only to 59 remaining, 1 point away, 2 points away from taking the lead.
Yeah, 1 point gap. Ah, it really breaks your heart to see that moment right there. You know, Jam right closely to getting that lead, but unfortunately, an enemy's just catching a break and just stopping them from getting that lead right there. You know, so far, not much is, well, you know, Jam's back on the tower again, seeing if they can get this comeback already, you know. Time is starting to, you know, decrease with almost under a minute away, so stakes are looking high for Jam at the moment. They really need to think of something here. You know, just keep on the tower, just keep pushing their specials, and hopefully, and they do get the lead right there as 3 to go down from Jam as we're under a minute away, which gives NN enemies a great, perfect timing to get back from this. But you know, now the stakes are high for NN enemies.
Yeah, yeah, anemones, they were getting trades. They weren't really able to get the actual numbers advantage there over Jam until Jam had already moved the tower just far enough and just long enough at that checkpoint to take the lead. But now Jam, they have been able to get these picks on anemones. They've been able to get that numbers advantage, and now they are turning it into an even bigger score advantage. They are past that second checkpoint. Anemones don't really have the kinds of displacement specials that Jam does. They don't really have anything that will keep Jam off the tower, and now Jam are down to 38 remaining, and enemies have the tower, and they look like they will get overtime, but they're going to have to take the lead in overtime here. They're going to have to get through that difficult second checkpoint. One player from Jam, it looks like Yoshi there, they get taken out, they were seen, but now anemones, they have the tower at that checkpoint. Oh, there's the Booyah Bomb coming out from Splatcat, using that GG Booyah to go down. Anemones are back on the tower, but it's not enough, and Splatcat takes a tower to secure game 1 for Jam.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate from NN enemies right there. You know, they had the final push right there. You know, they were getting close to getting that lead, but unfortunately, this being tower control, and you know, if you have a Booyah Bomb in tower control, it's pretty much a checkmate right there. There's not much you can do to counter that at that point when it's overtime. You know, you just gotta kill them before they even pop it, which is, you know, quite impossible since they're gonna be way back, just waiting to pop that Booyah Bomb into the tower and just bomb in there, because you know, a Booyah Bomb, you're gonna run away from that thing.
Yeah, let alone 2 Booyah Bombs from the Sloshing Machine and the S-Blast 91 that Jam brought out. Yeah, here we will have a replay of the early stages of the game. Jam were able to get that early numbers advantage, but they weren't able to turn it into much of a lead. That first checkpoint is enough to stall the tower for a little bit longer, at least at the very start, and so Jam can get the tower. Here we see that late game taking of the lead by Jam. They were able to get through that checkpoint, and even as they went 3 down, they managed to take it there, and the numbers advantage did go back and forth, but really it seemed like with those Booyah Bombs, Jam had the tools to really get the job done here on tower control, but anemones, they didn't quite have anything similar to secure the tower, to take Jam off of the tower. They might have had some ink storms from the Nautilus, but those didn't come out at the times that they really would have needed it to. And yeah, there we see that overtime push coming to an end with that Booyah Bomb. Not exactly with the Booyah Bomb, but because of it, for sure.
Oh my goodness, what happened to the stream? I can't see anything. Let's see. With the first game ending, we proceed now with the second map mode into the Ludi set, which is another great map mode. Rainmaker Humpback. Oh my goodness, already straight in the bat, kicking off in the game already. My goodness, what's going on? Not enough time to catch us to break.
Yep, bringing back that Luna Blaster that was doing a lot of that Luna Blaster from I think it's I don't know if that's Sixru, Drew, Brew, excuse me, maybe the chat will inform me here, but here we see, it looks like Jam did get that early pop, but the wiper that they brought out, it did go down. There's 2 down on the side of Jam, 1 down on anemones, and anemones, they picked up Pink, picking up the Rainmaker, and just rushing for that checkpoint, and no one on Jam there to stop it. what a play from Pink there. Very opportunistic and able to get an early lead for an enemies. Less than 30 seconds in, and they are onto that first checkpoint. One going down on the side of an enemies, but these specials coming out, that killer whale coming out. Oh, but the hammer from Finn stops an enemy's push in its tracks, and there is the wipeout.
Oh my goodness, there's absolutely no breath for us to catch right here. Everything's just happening so quickly. Enemies with the quick checkpoint capture, and it looks like Jam is about to do it as well, as 2 go down from enemies as well, but it seems that Finn is having a hard time getting up there, but they do successfully get breaking down the checkpoint right here, and it is Jam's turn right now to get back from this, as it would seem, and they do get the lead at this point with the 45 points remaining. Great work from Jam with the push, as 2 go down from enemies, but enemies do get control and more space from here as they go hard. Tari again with the Zook pick. Great work from them. But unfortunately they don't get anybody else, just one. As they do, get splatted as well as another one from enemies, which gives Jam more of an opportunity to get back from this. As was it Frizza pops a bubble. This might look good for Jam. No, unfortunately not, as enemies does get the pop, but 2 go down from Jam. Jam getting a little bit more points. Everything's happening very quickly. My goodness.
Yeah, I saw that Rainmaker pop. It did break the bubble. Moist might have been scared there, but being in the bubble when it popped was enough to save them. But now, getting that pop by Jam was able to get the picks for them, and it allowed them to get a little bit more of a lead, a few more points, and they are still in this. They are still right there by the Rainmaker, still trying to keep it moving.
Yeah, just everything's happening just so quickly, especially just Jam with that, what was that aim strike, just being able to get a little more points as well. Just 23 points remaining, and now it's an enemy's turn to pull back from this. Let's see if they can able to pull this off. They do have enough time for this, so they really need to take things slowly, take a breath. But unfortunately 3 go down from enemies as that roller gets really good clean picks, and they're rushing in already in mid. So
yeah, Frizza putting that ninja squid to use there, sharking around as a roller loves to do, trying to get those picks there, but they have that pressure on them, but coming out with the bubble, able to get the pick on the edit and prevent an enemies from getting that cooler that they would really want to have. Jam's splash, Neo Splash goes down, preventing them from getting the strikes, and now an enemies, they have the space in mid. One of them goes down. Oh, and it's the curling bomb. Did they get hit by the curling bomb, or was that the explosion?
No, it was both a hit and the explosion. It's quite unfortunate to see just getting killed by a curling bomb.
That's gotta hurt. Getting hit by a curling bomb is never a fun way to go out, and now an enemies will have to respawn all 4 of them. They get wiped out, and now Jam have the Rainmaker again, and they will try to go for a knockout maybe, or at least extend their lead here. There is a minute and a half left, but Jam are pushing the Rainmaker further. Still 3 going down on both sides, and an enemy's getting that last pick and preventing the knockout just yet, but there's gonna have to be a lot more. They're going to have to do a lot more. No hammer while this Luna player is holding the Rainmaker, and they get taken out. Yoshi gets traded here, but it's not going to be good for an enemies unless they can really put something together that they haven't put together yet.
And with under a minute away, stakes are very high for enemies. Just the pressure is really high on them. They really need to start moving, but not too fast, quickly. They need to start, take a deep breath and just go at with a current plan. As 2 go down from Jam, so this might be a really good opportunity for enemies to get a comeback from here, as they do pull down the wiper here. But unfortunately, was that another curling bomb kill? I don't know. My goodness, everything's just happening at once.
Yoshi staying alive there. Tari trying to go for that splat, trying to get that 4th pick for a delayed wipe. It is kind of a delayed wipe. The hammer coming out to get the pop to allow them to take the Rainmaker, and there's a wipeout! There's a wipeout! They're going for it! They've taken the lead with 7 seconds left!
Yeah, great work from enemies! As, oh my goodness, this is quite unfortunate for Jam. They need to get back from this, as it is overtime. The pressure is now high for them as well, so, that could go down! Great work from enemies, just getting that Hail Mary of a push right there.
Incredible
Oh my goodness.
clutch play from that Ultra Stamp. coming out to get the wipeout, and Anemones, they saw that they had the wipeout and they immediately took advantage of it. They immediately got on it and moved the Rainmaker, and that's the kind of play that you want to see out of your team.
Yes, indeed. And, that just goes to show you, anything can happen, it's not over until that overtime is, until you see that game screen on on your screen.
Yeah.
So, just don't lose faith, gotta keep pushing it, and, at the end of the day, it worked out for enemies.
Yeah, both teams bringing their Ultra Stamps into this game, and both Ultra Stamps getting those clutch plays. But here we see the one that really determined it.
Yeah,
like,
I thought that one. Hold on, wait, I'm sorry. I thought the hammer throw was over for them since they kind of missed and hit the wall. But that wipeout, though, instantly just giving enemies the upper hand to getting that lead. Just great push from enemies.
Yeah, and Marlowe too on the edit. It looked like they were the one who might have gotten the third and fourth splats there, playing in a pretty aggressive position out in front, putting themselves in the line of fire, but able to clutch out those splats and allow the team to push forward for the lead. This is 1-1 now. This is really a set.
This is really a set indeed. So, listen, if both these teams play like this is going to be quite a set to be watching. And I'm honored to be commentating here as well. I can't wait to see if the next game will have any similar kind of set plays, as we are in Splat Zone's Mahi. So, can't wait to see that. Another great map mode.
Yeah, this one will be interesting. Mahi is a smaller map. This is one where it's easy to get locked out if you are not careful, if you are not putting together a coordinated push. The zone is so close to spawn that it really feels like you should be able to rush right to it and paint it, but it's so easy for the defending team to punish that if you are not careful.
And it's pretty easy to fall down the water if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, that too.
But I can say this as a dually main, alright? I try my best not to slip in the water. I know it's quite a dangerous map for me, but I like the map mode,
Oh yeah. This one is a little divisive. Mahi, as a stage that came back from Splatoon 1 in a pretty different form, less of the islands that it was so known for in the first game, and a much more centralized, much more direct layout that encourages the teams to just run right into each other, encourages the full team fights that we see so much of in Splatoon 3.
You just love that layout switch. Just, you know what? Just go right in. Just every man for himself. It's gonna be a bloody mess out there in the middle. As the match does kick in already. Splat Zone's Mahi. Let's see who gets the win from here. Any changes from here? Ooh, Pink with Blaster Tent, and ooh, what was that? I kind of missed that over there. Ooh, the decaf right
Charcoal
there.
Cavitator. That's gonna be interesting. I believe we did see. Yeah, Frizzo was previously on the roller. Not the wiper player though. But multiple players able to play Splatana class weapons here on the side of Jam, and Jam are the team that takes the zone first, getting a wipeout early, and they are going to want to turn that into a lockout here. An enemy's respawning in, they will need to get those specials. They have the Tent Umbrella, the Sorella Tent with the Zuka. They don't have the Zuka ready just yet, but Atari out here popping that Zuka, trying to get a pick, getting a pick on Cat here, and now getting another on Moist. They have the zone now, and enemies have taken the zone and prevented that lockout. Now they are in the position to defend the zone. The Tri-Strike's coming out from Jam, but an enemies hold the zone, and they are going to want to keep it here.
And you do want to keep it down here. And, as the water level does go down, this gives enemies much more space to clear them out, just much more spacious, as, enemies are closer to getting that comeback right here. Ooh, can they get that? I think they will. Yes, great work from enemies, just pulling off, getting a great defense to stopping Jam from getting into the zones. But unfortunately, 3 do go down from enemies, as Jam might get the zones. What is happening? I thought Jam might get the zones. Whoa! Enemies getting the zones back for a little bit, but unfortunately Jam getting the zones back in time, as it is Jam's turn to defend the zones and stopping enemies from pushing in. As 2 do down from enemies, so things are looking good for Jam at the moment. Just got to keep that defense up make sure enemies don't go further, and good work from them.
Right, yeah, we have the anemones down to 48 points here, but Jam, they are about to take the lead though. Jam have taken back the lead. Finn goes down, Marlowe gets the splat, and the tri-strikes are coming out. Those tri-strikes from the 10-attack splatter shot. Anemones have neutralized the zone, but Jam take it right back. There's 1 down on their side, 2 down on anemones. Players going down, both sides. And Jam has taken the zone once more. That wave breaker coming out, the 10 shield going into the zone and doing a little bit of work to paint it, but not enough. Jam, their points continue to tick down. Splatgat getting a pick with that splat bomb here. The zone gets neutralized again, but enemies, they have the numbers advantage. They have even bigger advantage now, and they are trying to paint that zone and take out Pink here. Pink getting a pick though, able to stall them a little longer, and now enemies are able to take the zone with that clutch stalling skirmishing from Pink.
Yeah, that's just quite unfortunate from Jam. Just not painting zones. I mean, I understand like an enemy was right there in zones and they want to get that pick, but I don't know. If I was in the situation, I would have just painted the zones and gotten rid of it already, because 10 points remaining. That's going to be once you get the zones, that's very close to getting a win. But unfortunately, just enemies just being being in that zones, Jam just took the priority to getting that. They'd rather get that kill rather than just getting the zones back. But, Jam with the zones back, good for them. All they need to do now is just hold a little bit more, 30-point penalty as it is on the way to their side as 30 will go down from enemies. Great aggression from Jam right here. Good work. Let's see if they can still pull this off as, enemies pull up a Zuka, but unfortunately, only getting 1, but the 10 does go down, and enemies need to push in and getting the zones back as the penalty points do go down, and they do successfully get it, the zones. Great work from enemies. Great offense, getting that zones back.
Those penalty points were almost gone. Jam looked like they might have been almost in position to take the knockout, but there's still time for enemies here. They have control of the zone. They are going to want to keep scoring, but 3 go down! 3 go down in the zone, and Jam are able to take it back. There's only about a minute left, and Jam might make it even less than that because now they have like 30 or so penalty points, less than what they had before. Their cooler is out. They will be able to fight aggressively. Cat goes down to a bomb from 6. Frieza here on the Inkjet trying to get revenge for that pick. And enemies have the zone again. Frieza dropping onto that wave breaker and getting taken out. Jam neutralizing the zone. The Kraken coming out from Finn's custom range blaster. Finn getting the pick on Marlowe. Jam are holding this zone as hard as they can. Even the tri-strikes, they come out from 6, but it's not enough. 20 seconds left. Jam have the zone. They've held the zone for so much more time. And enemies are still able to keep neutralizing it, but it's still not going to be enough as Jam, with 10 seconds left and even less time on their objective timer, they get the knockout 3 seconds before the end. And oh, look at that zone cap. They neutralized, an enemy's neutralized the zone, and then that curling bomb captured it after time ran, after the knockout happened.
I didn't even
just a little too late.
I didn't even notice it until now. Oh my goodness. That was just unfortunate for timing right there. If only they just thrown that curling bomb a little more earlier, then they might have had, getting that zone. They would have been just turned back to overtime. But this was another great set. It was just back and forth. First it was an enemy zones, and then it was Jam, and then back and forth, back and forth. It was just aggression after aggression, and also that just moment right there, the blaster just stalling the zones. Everything was just chaotic.
It was so chaotic. The zone kept going back and forth, and it nearly lasted the entire 5 minutes of the game. We almost saw this go the full distance, but Jam were able to make it a knockout just barely. 3 going down in the zone is never a good look, and here we see that crucial moment there where enemies might have had the chance to keep their score going down, but Jam were able to take it at the 1 minute remaining point. As we move on here to Barnacle and Dime, can we get the Barnacles in chat? I don't know if SplatoonTourney1 has the redeem It does not appear to have the Barnacle redeem reward, but let's get the Barnacles in chat for Clam Blitz here as we round out the rotation of modes in Game 4.
Yes, sir. Ooh, let's go, Barney and Dime. Great. That's what I just like to call it, Barney and Dime. I just imagine Barney the dinosaur. Just
People are always saying that.
I'm just imagining that picture of just Barney holding a dime with the background of them in the map. But Clam Blitz, Barnacle and Dime. With the Barnacle rework. What are you expecting to see here?
Yeah. Even though the stage has been a little bit reworked, the strategy hasn't really changed all that much. You still want to make the push in the way that you did before. There is a little bit more room on that lookout on the defender's left side, attacker's right side. So if the attackers can get, say, a long-range weapon up there to hold the space for a push, that could be even nicer. But the attacking the higher part on the attacker's left, defender's right, is still such a crucial area that the defense needs to have control of if they want to stop an ongoing push. We see the teams, Pink bringing out that S-Blast, this time on the side of Anemones. They saw it in Game 1, and now they're bringing it themselves in Game 4. We have 6 on the 52 gal. I believe we have... Did we see that before? Maybe not from 6, but it's here. It's here in this game, and we have the double Splatana coming out from Jam. One going down, both Splatanas going down on the side of Jam, and 6 already taking that plat with a jump. Yoshi trying to get the pick, but going down for it. Anemones, they already have a very significant positioning advantage here. They have taken the space of mid, and they are primed in position to get the first score early on in this game. 6 throwing the clam in. Was that 6? I don't know who threw the clam in, but they got that first score, and now they are getting even more. They passed the very important 40-point mark, 60 remaining. They are down to 59, so now 2 power clams from Jam won't be enough to take the lead, as Jam return to mid, and they bring the game back to neutral here, preventing that first push from going even further into that score.
Yeah, great regression from Enemies, just pulling out that great start, and it now seems it would be happening same as well to Jam. Great start with a power clam going in as well, with 1 point remaining. Just 1 point, just getting the lead right there, but unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get another clam in. But, 1 point lead gap is really great for Jam right here. They could come back from this, getting that comeback that they need. As 3 to go down from Enemies, as the map control does go to Jam. Well, no, 2 to go down from Jam, so things are looking pretty stagnant right here. But Jam has starting to go back here, getting in Enemies plat, but unfortunately, Frizzer does go down. But Finn with the hammer getting 1 pick, but 2 go down from Jam. 3, unfortunately, as Finn is the only one from Jam, stopping their push, unfortunately, as Enemies get mid back. But 1 does go down the headed, and 2 go down from Enemies. Just it's a back and forth again, and mid, whoever, no one has full control of mid as Jam does get it back, but let's see if they can hold it back again as 1 does get down from Jam, another go down from Enemies. Everything is just happening quickly. Oh my goodness, Frieza with the last minute kill with the jet. Everything is just too quick.
Yeah, Anemones are going to be so grateful that they were able to get that all-important 41 points on the first push. So because Jam scored 40 points, and even though they don't have the lead here, there's a pick with the Zuka. Atari getting that Zuka, getting stuff done with it. A trade happening over there underneath that plat, and now Anemones are losing the numbers advantage. They don't have the specials on hand. Finn trying to get picks with the wiper, with the hammer, not getting anything done, but taking the space, and now scoring 2 power clams again, and they have finally taken the lead here with about 2 minutes to go. Jam have the space around an enemy's basket, and they take 3 down. They get the wipeout. Jam, they are going to try to knock this out here. They are down to 13 points remaining. They only need 1 more, and there it is. They have taken this. They needed to be patient. They had those power clams. It must have been intimidating for Anemones to constantly see those power clams at Jam's disposal at the top of the screen. And even though they held the lead, they got that good first score, it wasn't enough because Jam, on their second push, were able to put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, very scary moment for enemies. Oh, my goodness, just pure aggression from Jam, just pushing it over and over. Just, I feel like that 1 point, gap just, made them, determined even more just to go push in. It's just like, hey, we're only losing by 1 point. We got to go in there, just take that point immediately. And, as you can see in the replay, just the power clamps just throwing in and in, just Jams just being in an enemy's basket and just completely destroying an enemy's defense wall right there. Just great work from Jam, great aggression. You love to see it.
Yeah, that was a great push for Jam, and it did really help them, to be honest, that anemones, they had those players dropping into that meat grinder down there, essentially, that Jam had total control over, and were able to get those picks as anemones coming out really one at a time here, and giving Jam the time and the space to get all of those power clamps in that they needed. They had more than enough even. I think I saw a power clam getting thrown past the basket as it was going back up. But Jam able to get multiple pushes out there and taking a pretty important, pretty significant 3-1 lead here in this set.
And great work from Jam, as they're only 2 wins away from taking this set away, as we do proceed into game 5, being Tasty Ship Shape. Ooh, another good map mode. Can't wait to see what's happening over here.
Yeah, this map mode here, this is a bit of a different beast from Tower Control on Undertow Spillway. This one has that. Whereas Undertow, the first checkpoint is very, very quick and very close to the start. This one, the first checkpoint is a slog. It is a marathon of a checkpoint here. It's like 20 points or so, and that is going to be essential. It's still going to be a checkpoint where that is key, but it is the first checkpoint here. There is so little time, it feels like, whenever I play this, between getting that first checkpoint and making it all the way to around the 30-point mark that the second checkpoint starts. If either team can get through that first checkpoint quickly, that's going to make it really difficult for the other team to come back from.
Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult for them, with the first checkpoint, it's going to be quite a difficulty for the defense, They have the bridge right there, which the offense could, easily just watch over, because, it has two greats, which, it's going to be quite, hard to, pass through and, get rid of them. But as the game does kick away, let's see what's happening here. Any difference? Ooh, I do see a knot from enemies. And regular CR custom range blaster, not even the Kraken one. I don't know. That's gonna be, I don't know about that, but let's see if enemies can pull off this, and see if they can get a win from this.
Yeah, anemones still have Marlowe on tacticaler duty, but this time it is on the NZAP with Snap playing the Nautilus to fulfill their splatling quota. Moist getting out that early enough cooler for Jam, but Snap's riding the tower. They have made it to that first checkpoint, and they are already halfway through it. Jam, they don't have any kind of defense for it, and already only 40 seconds in, enemies are past the first checkpoint and moving it all the way past the halfway point of the score, and now only at 43 remaining are Jam able to stop it, but still going 2 down for their troubles.
Yeah, for a moment, enemies was at Jam's base right there, getting able to get 2 picks from here. But Jam does get a breather right here, as they do clear enemies from their whole area base, as they do give Jam the opportunity to get back on tower and hopefully get a comeback from this. It's going to be quite a journey, unlocking that first checkpoint, as Jam get them back on tower, but that Nautilus being on the first checkpoint with the great defense, but they do go down, unfortunately, as they were essentially just a one-man army, and, you know, just them getting down very quickly. And the Crab being on tower and the head as well, it's going to look like it's a very good, easy job for Jam to unlock the first checkpoint as they do go down to enemies, an enemy's core right here. And it's looking like they're going to get the lead here. Great work from Jam. Great aggression right here as they do through some strikes out here. But two go down from both enemies and Jam. Let's see if Jam can get an opportunity to get back on tower. Unfortunately, do not, as they do go two down, which gives enemies a perfect opportunity to get back on track. And that Blaster getting a perfect pick right there below the ledge right there. But three do go down from enemies, giving Jam another opportunity to get back from this and going back to enemy's core as the Blaster does go down from this. Oh my goodness. And the Crab as well getting from this. Things are not looking good for enemies as they go to two down already. But with the last checkpoint being in the top right, it does give enemies a perfect opportunity to get back on tower. But the Kraken get pulled in as it is a great stop from them as Jam does get the last checkpoint in. This might be GG's for, oh my goodness, they might get this KO as well. Oh, but it went down. Oh my goodness. Jam getting that KO. Great aggression from Jam. My goodness.
Yeah, the edit, I think, died on the tower, but the tower momentum was enough to carry it to the goal. It looked like the tower was actually moving back to neutral after hitting the goal there, as the screen was transitioning. But Jam taking that knockout, both teams getting through that first checkpoint, no problem. But Jam were able to stop Anemones at that 43-point remaining mark, and Anemones were not able to do the same on Jam, even though neither team really stopped the other at the first checkpoint. Jam out here using their specials to perfection, chaining them just right, getting picks with all of them that they could. I mean, the Tacticooler doesn't get picks, but it certainly gets assists. And using those specials really well helped Jam to just take control of that game after that early lead from enemies.
Yeah, it's just great work from Jam. And, you know, I did see that, as we see it right there, that replay a little while ago. They did die that headed, but, you know, the tower did move forward, just getting that KO. I think that might be like latency of lag issue, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, great work from Jam. It's quite unfortunate for enemies as we do proceed to Game 6, which is a match point for Jam. If they do get this win, this set is all theirs as they will go proceeding on this group undefeated 4-0. My goodness.
Yeah. And while having 4 wins isn't always necessarily a guarantee of playoffs, with the way it works out, the only 2 other teams that could win 4 sets still haven't played each other. So that means that it's not going to be possible for both Magic Beans and RIT Tiger Sharks to win 4 of their sets, which means if Jam do take this game and win the set, they will be guaranteed a spot in the playoffs.
Or, you know, enemies could pull off a reverse sweep, you know? Anything could happen.
Hey,
you know?
it's not really a reverse sweep because they weren't down 0-4. Let me get this straight. I was there when the Taxi Rulers reverse swept the Whip Rays. So back in season 13. I was there for that, so I know what a real reverse sweep is. It'll still be impressive though if enemies could pull it off. They have a win under their belt, and it was on Rainmaker. So this is the one mode that they have won so far in this set, and this could be the key for them to get some momentum back in their favor.
That was quite a successful game, you know. Like I say, you know, 1% chance, 99% faith. That's what enemies needs to look into, you know, if they want to come back from this, you know. Just, you gotta believe, gotta have faith. That hope, you can't let it die out.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see 6 back on the Luna Neo here with that Ultra Stamp, because it was such a valuable thing for them to have in the first Rainmaker game back on Humpback in Game 2, which feels so long ago now. We'll see what weapons they bring as we are getting right into game number 6 of this set.
Ooh, you know, I can't. I'm hoping I can see some sharky webs right here. You know, this being Rainmaker, I do love it when players do pull off that sharky play. Oh, it's Frieza does you know pull off with the roller. I hopefully you know fingers crossed they do some you know sneaky sharky plays because you know like I said this is Rainmaker and I love pulling that off. Just you know hiding in the ink, just sharking, waiting for that opportunity to be near that Rainmaker and just striking at the right moment. It's quite funny.
Yeah, and let me point out Yoshi on that Rapid Deco with the Inkjet. We saw Frieza using the Inkjet earlier, but now it's Yoshi's turn. But now 3 go down on the side of Jam. Even though they got the first pop, it doesn't do a lot here. It only paints the spinner, and an enemy's able to quickly get that first checkpoint here. So now, an enemies, they have the lead. They have that killer whale coming out. Even though they don't have the numbers, they got the pop, and Pink is picking up the Rainmaker, scoring a few more points. They get wiped out, though, and that lead is definitely not safe here, especially with the kind of methodical special powered pushes that Jam are putting together here, and those tri-strikes and Inkjet being used very well here to hold an enemy's back. And now Jam, they have the numbers advantage on an enemy's plat. Oh, a pick. Oh, Yoshi getting taken out, and Frieza gets taken out as well. Splatcat in danger here, 3 down on the side of Jam, and now they aren't going to be able this time to get the Rainmaker any further than the checkpoint. However, they have the checkpoint down though, so if Jam are able to get another push like that, they will be able to move the Rainmaker past the checkpoint and increase their score a little more.
Yeah, and you know, great defense from enemies, but like you said, you know, Jam taking down that checkpoint. You know, it's gonna be quite a little more difficult to you know be defended because you know this is pretty easy work for Jam to get back from this, as enemies does suffer a wipeout, which might give Jam the opportunity to get a comeback from this. Let's see if they can, as the Rainmaker does take the long journey to go from ramp. You know, Yoshi being stuck in the volcano right there. And enemies again with the great defense right there with the strikes pulling off as they do get the lead, and enemies great work from there as 3 do go down from enemies as Jam does get the rain point in this, but they pull off and enemies with the Zuka getting, oh my goodness, the pick right there, great defense, but 3 do go down from enemies. My goodness. Let's see.
Oh, Frieza gets the pick there, and it's straight in, but they pick it up. Yoshi picks up the Rainmaker. It was about to reset, and that 1-point lead has turned into a 21-point lead, and now it is looking a lot better for Jam here. They have the Rainmaker down to 25 remaining, and enemies, they will not want to let that happen again. They don't have someone puppy guarding it, but they have the players around it. They are going to let it reset here. Marlow on that plat. Definitely not going to let anyone pass. As the Rainmaker does reset to mid, an enemies will be breathing a sigh of relief there. It is in a neutral state. The specials have come out. Frieza using that bubbler but going down, and 6 going down on the side of an enemy's. Taria is right back in it though, and popping the Rainmaker as Marlow puts out the cooler. Frieza goes down. And enemies, they have the space in mid, but not the numbers anymore, as 2 go down on their side. And the killer whale coming out from Pink, getting the pick. Pink gets the pick there and is taking that space. Frieza gets the pick on Pink and on Tari, and now, just like that, Jam have the numbers advantage once again, but now everyone's back. Those coolers letting everyone get right back into it. 6 coming out with the hammer, getting another pick, and now an enemy's, this could be their chance to turn this game around.
Oh yeah, this could be the chance indeed, as they are in Jam's spinner right here, giving them more, you know, space right here and an opportunity to come back from here, as Jam does pull off strikes, and enemies need to get away from the strikes, as they do survive from this, and enemies does go 1 down as well as Jam. They might get a comeback from this, as they go back from a top spinner, but unfortunately suffering from that Inkjet, as we're under a minute away. The pressure is even more for enemies to get back from this, as 3 do go down unfortunately, and the Rainmaker being on Jam's side of the base. So pressure is gonna be very hard as they do pull off a Zuka, but can they get any picks right here? Unfortunately not, as the roller does get on. Was that I think that was a double right there. I thought at first it was a triple, but oh my goodness, they could get the super jump pick, as enemies does suffer a wipeout as we're under 30 seconds away. Things are not looking good for enemies right there, as Pink does get a flank right there, but unfortunately, they
Flank is
get
spotted.
caught. The flank is spotted, unfortunately. As 3 go down again from enemies, just the time is ticking down and down and down as we're under 10 seconds away. Enemies needs to think of a coherent plan to come back from this. They need to clear off Jam from their base. As one does go down from it. Is Marla with trying to get that pick again as their one-man army, but unfortunately, Jam catching that sneaky headed from trying to pop the Rainmaker. Great work from Jam right there, sealing their win from the set as they remain undefeated. Great work from Jam.
Congratulations, Jam. You are playoff bound. You have won your Week 4 set against an enemies 5-1 in a pretty strong fashion here. Here we see a replay of Game 5 here. Tower control as Jam took that tower all the way to the goal here. But wow, I saw the vision. Okay, now we got a replay of Game 6 here.
Yeah.
I saw the vision as an enemies were trying to get that lead as Tari was taking it up over the spinner, but it just didn't work out. The point blank inkjet shot just wasn't enough, and that wipeout there was really the icing on the cake for Jam taking this set. Everyone doing the work there, everyone contributing and putting this set down as one. Very nice for Jam. Yeah, here we go. Here we see that final push. Tari carrying the Rainmaker up, but getting picked off by that inkjet.
Yeah, enemies kind of doomed themselves by, taking the Rainmaker up all the way to the top spinner, on that great area. That's just a great defense point for Jam, That's going to be very easy for them to just hold off and just keep enemies away from them. So it's quite unfortunate to see that, but, don't look down on enemies. You did a great work on this. Being able to pull off one game away from Jam in that Rainmaker set, that was a great, win from them. So great work from enemies, but at the end of the day, great W from Jam as they get the set.
Yeah, I saw the vision. It would have been incredible for them to actually bring the Rainmaker up over the top of that high ground, but it was not to be there. They didn't have the space cleared that they would have needed to get the Rainmaker there. Very well done to Jam here, taking this set and continuing to go undefeated in sets in their group. They only have one more to go to pull off the 5-0, and that is a set against Blowhide Blast, who have not yet won a set in the group. So Jam will be feeling pretty good about their chances, I assume, going into Week 5, and Jam does look poised to turn this into a 5-0 Ludi group. Meanwhile, an enemies falling to 1-3. This does seem like it might be it for their chances in making the playoffs. I'm not sure. Their Week 5 is against Neopyrite, who are also 1-2 after 3 weeks. They do not appear to have played, or at least not reported, or even if they have reported their Week 4 set, it is not yet on the challenge that I'm looking at now. But an enemies will face off against Neopyrite in Week 5, and that will probably determine which of them comes out ahead in their group.
That we will have to wait and see. Confidence is through the roofs for Jam, but they can't underestimate their final enemies they're about to face in their final week.
That is right. And as it is just about 9 o'clock Eastern time, we will be getting into the next set here on SplatoonTourney1 pretty soon. So that means it is time for us to sign off. Do you want to go first, Paul?
No, you go ahead. You finish it off.
Okay, sure. All right, sure. Yeah, I'm Jordan, or Squidoku. You can find me at Squidoku_ on Twitter, or Jordan Pie on Discord. I am also Squidoku_ on Splatboards, and Squidoku at splatsville.social. How about you, Fall?
And as for me, you can find me on Twitter at BoodleFall, as you can see right there on the stream screen. And you can also find me on Twitch, being the same name, Fallhole. And, I haven't streamed in a while, but, I might come back to it. I'm just hoping, waiting for that right moment to stream again. But, you can find me more active on Twitter. Just, see me retweeting whatever I'd like, tweeting me whatever about Splatoon or whatever. Just whatever's on my mind. Hey, it was a great work to commentate with you, Jordan. Glad to have
Likewise.
you. Thanks.
But now we will be turning it over to the commentators for your next set on SplatoonTourney1.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to SplatoonTourney1. We are bringing up the second half of your doubleheader, a Div 8A match between Graveyard and Driving with Influence. I'm Sigdakari. Joining me is Virus. Virus, how are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well right now. Thank you for asking. It's been quite a long day for me so far, but we're back. We're back in it again. We're back in it with another edition of Moody tonight on the SplatoonTourney1 channel. Yeah, I cannot wait to find out how these two teams are going to be playing tonight.
Yeah, both of them fighting for their second win of the season, sitting at 1-2 at the moment. Let's move into the comps. Let's see. We have 5 members on DWI: Bloom and Shaded, Kai, Statario, and IMAD, and then Raveyard has their core 4 of Kareem, K-Cat, Ace, and Sayora. Off the bat, I haven't seen that many of these players play. Are you familiar with any of these names or weapons that they might play?
I am familiar with IMAD. I don't know what weapon he specifically plays, but what I do know from like doing my own research is that he is a recent addition to Driving with Influence, which is like a really interesting thing. I do believe that he did join like a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, or like last month, if I'm not mistaken. I would have to check again. But yeah, I am pretty sure that IMAD is a recent addition to Driving with Influence.
Yeah, a lot of those new members can be. Yeah, it'll be pretty interesting to see how it pans out, considering, you know, a lot of these new members can be super hit or miss. And with that being said, let's take a look at some of these maps. Starting off with another pretty hit or miss thing: tower control and Undertow Spy. I personally am not a big fan of it, but I understand why it's played. But Virus, what are your thoughts on TC Undertow to start off?
TC Undertow is one of those maps that you would expect not to see a lot, but again, like, it appears a lot more than you might think it would. So, which is like honestly like really interesting to see. It's nice to see like some of these like newer like map members that you like don't really like to see. I'm personally like am not a big fan of Tower Undertow myself. However, I don't really like complain whenever it comes into rotation, and I certainly don't complain when it comes to like watching any of these games. Any of the games on this particular map, but are very entertaining from what I've seen in the past. So yeah, I just like cannot wait to see what these two teams are gonna cook up in terms of strategies on this map.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what kind of weapons are brought on this map as well. We will probably see a lot of AoE. We've known that for years to be super powerful in tower control in general. But it's also great at just pressuring the ledges, and we see a lot of those on the Undertow Spillway, especially in the middle of the map. We have that middle spine area and the snipes, as well as the little platform behind spine as well. Those can really lend themselves to sharking weapons if you get in a good spot. As we are loading into the game now, let's see what weapons that each team is bringing.
Yes, cannot wait to see like what weapons that we're going to see from each side. We do see a heavy edit on the side of Driving with Influence. We see a heavy edit on both sides, which is gonna be really nice to see. Right now we do have the CRB coming out from IMAD alongside the Neo Splash, which is a weapon that has been very prevalent in discussion on top level Platoon for a while now. But we have both of the edits. That's the main clear option coming out from both teams, and we do see Driving with Influence taking really aggressive push on the left side. IMAD does go down early, and this Viper might go down early as well if they do. And right now we see Raveyard looking to try to like push back in. They do have the stamp to try to make something happen. The splash does go down, and with Driving with Influence being really staggered right now, and the Zuka taking care of one member of Driving with Influence. And that pick is going to be really huge, as that is going to allow Raveyard to have a really smooth sailing over to the first checkpoint.
Yeah, the only thing really in their way right now is the triple ink strikes, and that is going to force a lot of Driving with Influence off of the tower. And with only one member left, they're going to have to back way off and allow Driving with Influence to get their push off. So now Raveyard is on the defense. They're going to find an opening pick onto that Neo Splash-O-Matic, but IMAD's going to pop this crack and try and get aggressive onto, I believe that is Ace in the back left of the map. But the tower is stalled out as 2 members of Driving with Influence go down here, and that's going to mean that Raveyard is back on the offensive, just trying to get aggressive, trying to stagger the rest of Driving with Influence. They're going to do so successfully, but at the cost of their own Viper player. And with the some of the specials getting popped here, like the Cooler and soon to be the Tri-Strikes, looks like Raveyard's retaining pretty good control of this game so far.
Reverend is retaining really good control of mid, and while driving with influence is trying to make stuff happen with specials. It just looks like the Reverend just keeping a good foothold in mid. They did like back off to try get into a more defensive position, but with the shot going down instead of Braver, it looks like that they're gonna have to like be in a more defensive spot themselves. As this wiper Bloomin on the side of driving with influence is just going crazy on this wiper right now. On this right side, taking a lot of attention, baiting out 2 Zuka shots on the side of Braveheart as well before retreating back to mid with the rest of their team. And right now we do see Braveheart all pushed back on their side of mid, trying to find an opening pick, trying to find the special needed in order to try to push in. But as they're waiting for that opportunity, we do see Bloomin on that stamp rushing forward and is able to get the pick on the heavy edit with the shot going down as well. And with the slosher stuck on the bottom left side of the map, that's going to be a 3 down on the side of Rayfire, and now that allows driving with influence to get a nice push over to the first checkpoint. But as I say that, Ace on this wiper is able to get 2 on the tower and is still alive. Is able to distract long enough in order to trade out the last guy on tower, and now it's just Bloomin on this side of the map, just trying to hold their ground in mid. And driving with influence was almost able to take back that lead. However, Raveyard with a really good defense is able to get 1 down on the side of Raveyard. But with all these picks being traded out, this could be like anyone's game to try to like get a really good push in and to try to extend their lead as much as possible, as both teams are really neck and neck right now.
Yeah, these Wiper players are doing everything and more for both of their teams. Ace, especially on that defense, just getting 1 pick on the direct with his Shark, and then hammering immediately after to stay alive and find 2 more. Watch as the hammer comes out right now, finds the pick onto the Wiper player of driving with influence. Gonna toss it, not quite gonna find anything, but gonna be a good chunk of damage, and helping take the 2v1 onto Kai there is gonna allow Raveyard to keep going on this tower. They just have to worry about Shaded and Imad. Imad going down to Kareem here is gonna make things much tougher for driving with influence, as Bloomin is gonna have to stay strong, try and fend off Ace on the side of the map here. Gonna do so successfully and force all 4 of Raveyard back, and now driving with influence is gonna have another chance to try and take back this lead. They are very close to doing so, being most of the way through that second, most of the way through it, just 2 points to go after they push that tower far enough.
Wait, I don't know if I'm back because I'm muted. It's not? Okay, cool. Never mind. We're back. But yeah, driving with influence is keeping a good foothold on their side of the map. Is able to get a 1-for-1 trade, and with 2 down on the side of Graveyard, looks like the driving with influence is gonna get an opportunity to push back in with these tri-strikes on the side of Kai. And now with all the paint in the world that they have in order to move in, they are gonna have to try to make a move here, as they only need 2 ticks left on that checkpoint in order to get back the lead. However, a 1-for-1 trade happens, which is slightly in the favor of Graveyard, as they're the defending team. They don't have to push, they just need to hold up for the next 30 seconds and they win the game. However, driving with influence is getting the picks needed that they need to move in. It's just the Wiper alone on this left side. Can they find the Wiper on this left side? No, they can't. The Wiper is just sharking on this left side, just waiting for this opportunity. They do have the stamp ready, and it looks like that they're going to strike now. But
he's on tower.
They're just patiently waiting by tower, waiting for the perfect time to strike. And here comes the stamp. It takes out Imad. And will they be able to get another pick? Yes, they do. With the assist of the Zuka, a really nice crossfire situation set up by the Zuka and the Wiper on the side of Graveyard, and that allows them to just barely take that first game over driving with influence.
Yeah, another just massive clutch play from Ace. But followed up really well. I believe that was, excuse me, I don't remember who was on the shot. I believe that was Cat from Graveyard with the Zuka. I believe that got 2 or 3 members of driving with influence to end that overtime early. Really great stuff for them. And let's take another look at it. Like, we see just Ace just staying on the tower. I think the Zuka shot found 2, and the jump came in just a little bit too late. What a clutch play from Graveyard, really. But also that just happened off the fact that driving with influence left tower to try and set up for an even better push, which almost worked for them, except Ace was able to get behind them like you were talking about earlier. And that just made things really, really hard for driving with influence. It put them in a tough spot. As we see Ace just in this replay, this is the other flank that we were talking about, or the Shark, where they got 2, almost a 3rd. And it just fully shut down driving with influence multiple times here.
Yes, Ace on that Wiper was just doing a really good job at just getting into those positions in order to just disrupt the driving with influence from moving it any further. They were just able to get those picks needed and was able to turn away attention long enough for them to be able to get a lot of value out of these sharks, which I feel like would be very beneficial going into this next map mode, being Humpback Pump Track on Rainmaker, which I feel like is a very good Viper map, both on this mode in particular and just with the map in general, just with how much room the Viper has to move around on this map.
Yeah, Wiper does have a ton of mobility on this map, but also, if you recall, like the bucket is from, I believe it was Raveyard, is gonna have a field day here too. The weapons on that comp, like you said, the Viper can move around a lot, but Bucket can really take advantage of these slopes and get some great effective range with a lot of their just kind of fall off hits. As we see, is Kareem gonna stick on that Bucket? And we see a machine for driving with influence, as well as like a full comp change from them. While Raveyard is gonna stick with their just tried and true stuff that works so well for them on game 1. This is just a full like 180 for DWI.
Yeah, driving with influence, probably changing around their comp based on the map. They are speccing more into the DPS, and that machine is going to do a really good job on contesting the middle of the map, like we're seeing right here, as driving with influence is able to get an early pick on the side of Raveyard, and now I'm on this machine is just able to control the middle of the map really good before backing out. And right now we have this crab on the side of driving with influence by Bloomin, applying a lot of pressure, trying to set up IMAD going in, but they get taken down immediately, and now it's a one-up situation for the side of Raveyard, and we see Bloomin try to grab the Rainmaker, trying to make something happen. They're able to get to 75 and we're able to get halfway to the checkpoint before going down. And right now Raveyard, with the Zuka in hand and with the strikes in hand as well, are looking to try to set up a push of their own. They do get 2 down early on the side of driving with influence, and with the strikes coming out, it does seem like that the Rainmaker has a really clean path to get to the checkpoint, but the Booyah is going to be able to put a really clean stop to it, and with 2 down on the side of Raveyard, it looks like that they're going to have to reset with Bloomin on the flank. Bloomin on the flank is able to get 2, and now driving with influence is able to just have an opportunity to get a really good push going. With that crab set up, they're going to try to take their elbow extremely fast here, where we're going to see if driving with influence will follow through with this, or if Raveyard will be able to successfully defend.
Yeah, as Bloomin goes in and gets 2 again. Are they looking for the third? It looks like they're going to try and find KCat on the back here. You're not quite going to find it. The wipeout on driving with influence is going to mean that Raveyard is going to be able to turn this around right quick. Their huge object damage. Sayora is going to pick up that Rainmaker immediately, popping that Zuka's KCat, trying to find that pick onto Shaded, who respawned relatively early, trying to fend off the members of Raveyard. However, Ace is going to come in with the hammer. Kai's going to come and trade 1, and Sayora is finally going to be able to get that checkpoint that they weren't able to on the first without getting doubled by Bloomin, who goes down. It's just Ace left, though, in a 1v1 against Shaded, going to find the pick, going to go for the Rainmaker shield pop now, too. And with the rest of the members jumping back in and just stalling enough, we saw a great stall there from KCat, for example. Ace is going to pick up this Rainmaker and try and get some more points on the board, with Sayora just being the backup.
With all the resources being popped on driving the influence's elbow, it was just impossible for them to hold that, and that allowed Raveyard to get a really nice leading session. But now with 1 down on the side of Raveyard, that gives driving with influence the opportunity to try to push back in. They do see the shot on the side of Raveyard alone, and they do opt to try to fight that. And shot does successfully jump out, and the Rainmaker just try to drop down into mid, but the Viper is in a really nice off angle to try to take care of that. And now with 2 down on the side of driving with influence, it looks like that Raveyard could potentially snowball this further and put an ultimate stop to this push right here. And now with everyone on this right side of driving with influence just needs to just break out. They have a crab in order to try to move out, but Ace on the flank once again is able to get the crab, and we'll probably be able to get another one. No, Shaded is able to get the trade, but Raveyard still in a positional advantage, and with 2 people on the flank of driving with influence, Raveyard is opting to just run the Rainmaker forward, not a care of any resources being thrown at them. And now with the 1v1 situation, it looks like that driving with influence is able to regroup faster and get all their players back into mid. However, that was a really nice push on the side of Raveyard, taking advantage of the distraction that 2 members of driving with influence were going through, and with Cat on this flank, with Raveyard having complete control of mid again, it looks like that they could possibly extend this push further if they play their cards right.
Yeah, however, I think the Crab Tank from Bloomin's going to shut most things down while Ace has to use Hammer on it. But Cat is just going to take the Rainmaker, drop it off, unfortunately, but they're going to go for as many points as possible. Not quite going to expand the score, but picking it up and forcing Driving with Influence to repop is going to slow that down their push a lot. And with only 50 seconds left, they're going to need to get moving fast. They still have 40 points to make up. Granted, they got rid of the checkpoint, but they have so much more to get through. For example, I believe that is Kareem is very, very close to the tri-strikes. They just got it. There's a tacticaler up on Sayora too, and Ace is just in the back line fighting two on their own right now, making things really difficult for DWI's split focus at the moment. While Kareem goes in trying to find that pick onto Kai on the Rainmaker, not quite going to find it, but the Zuka is going to, and they're going to look for a little bit more with that last shot. Not going to find it and just stay alive through all this spam and get this Rainmaker pop for Raveyard.
All Raveyard needs to do is just play time, play the resource management game, make sure that Driving with Influence dumps as much of their resources as possible on the Rainmaker in order for them to have the advantage in this particular team fight, and to make sure that they don't get a successful push in. And that's exactly what they did right there. With all the resources just dwindling down inside of a Driving with Influence, they had no way to actively get an active push in, and that allowed Raveyard to perfectly secure this game 2 in a very dominant fashion in the last minute of the game.
Yeah, they never really let go of the game here. As we see, this push here kind of started everything, just got them a really large lead. Sayora finding a great pick onto Kai, who's trying to aggress from that right side. And then Ace just took advantage of all of the chaos and kind of the downtime with the machine from IMAD, tossing a little fizzy bomb in, just trying to get a few more points on the board here. It worked really well. But Bloomin really tried to put things together for Driving with Influence, finding some clutch doubles on the first defense and on this offense too, almost finding 3 was absolutely massive. And then this is I think this is where we're back to the push where Ace goes down. The Sayora, you'll notice Sayora stays alive for the rest of the team to jump to, and that's going to provide just great pressure for Raveyard, just keeping their members up and active at all times.
Yes, the Sayora was doing a really good job at making sure that the members of Raveyard do come back and are able to regroup for the next team fight. And that combined with all the fights from Ace and how calculated Raveyard was playing throughout the whole entire game, it just allowed them to just maintain the advantage for the majority of the last half of the, for like basically all the last half of the game actually. And that allowed them to just steal out that game 2 really cleanly. And now we're going into zones zones Mahi, which is a huge I would say pace switch from Rainmaker Humpback, I would say.
It definitely can be. That elbow on Humpback can really slow things down even on a fast mode like Rainmaker, where you're kind of just stuck waiting for you to get a bunch of utility. Whereas this map is a lot smaller, you're not really seeing those choke points, so it can really go fast either way if you're attacking or defending the zone here. As we see, Raveyard is sticking with their same comp, but Driving with Influence is going for a bit of a mix of their old comp with the CRB and Bloomin on the dualies, but Shaded is switching over to the custom Explosion. I'm with it. Hold on, wait, this is cooking. Okay, another weapon that has been under big discussion recently, Custom Explo. A little bit less recently than Neo Splash, but we're seeing some of its strength right now. Amazing paint, great chip damage from range, and it's going to force Raveyard all the way back into the spawn within the first 20 seconds. However, 2 members of DWI are going to go down, and this is where we see the other part of Explo's kit coming in clutch.
Oh no.
Triple Splash in there is going to keep it in, but Ace goes down with the hammer in the water. This is just taking a dip. That's pretty rough, but Raveyard is able to still capitalize on the picks they got beforehand and take back the zone before DWI can even drop the water.
It might be a pool map, but just make sure, just so y'all know, Inklings cannot swim, regardless.
Nope, water's deadly.
Water is still deadly. But either way, Raveyard is able to get an early 2 down on side of Driving with Influence, and this Kraken not really going to find a lot of value. However, that splashdown is able to clean up the shot. And with 2 down on the side of Raver, it looks like the driving with influence is going to try to make a push back in. The Explo from their spawn is just able to put a lot of pressure on the zone. And with the Zuka alone in the corner on the side of Raver, they are going to get picked up really easily. And this Crab is able to clean up someone else as 3 down go on the side of Raver. This is the opportunity for Raver to get a really good push in. They do have their cooler active. They need to try to pick a fight and potentially try to like get a good trade in. And that's exactly what they're looking for. They do trade out the cooler. That's no cooler on the side of Raveyard for the next like 30 seconds. But now Raveyard with getting 2 down on the side of driving with influence, and this stab is cleaning up on the side of Raveyard. And now driving with influence just needs to like hard reset right here as Raveyard is just getting complete control of mid again. But they do need to be careful of that Expo, which they do take care of early. And with all the people on the right side, they could get a really nasty pincer in there, which they do. And with 2 down outside of driving with influence, Graveyard just now went down, just now broke their penalty barrier. And now driving with influence needs to be really careful and needs to play their cards right, or else it will be very bad for them.
Yeah, how Graveyard is taking down fast on that zone. That Explo splashdown is going to be huge for just allowing them a way in on that bottom right-hand side. They're going to neutralize the zone with it, and IMAT's trying to chase Ace on the hammer down with their own Kraken. Not quite going to find it, and Graveyard is going to maintain control of this zone with 10 points ticking down and nobody from Driving with Influence contesting it. It looks like they're just going to search for the KO, and they are. They're going to go up 3-0 in the set.
That stamp by... Can we talk about that stamp by Ace really quickly? That stamp got 3 on the side of driving with influence, and it was just IMAT in the Kraken. That Kraken just did nothing to that stamp. And it then resulted in Graveyard just very cleanly getting that set win. And we are seeing comp adaptations coming out from driving with influence. I'm a really big fan of the idea of range C Expo on this map, but Graveyard is just locking in with their with their strategies. We don't talk about what happened there though.
No,
that never happened. That never happened.
That's not helpful to our narrative right now. Of the hammers.
That's not.
Outside of that hammer,
here's like one of the better hammers that they have. Yeah, here we go. Against 1, against 2. I think it got 3 in that situation, but yeah.
Yeah, we didn't see the third on the replay at least. But still getting 2 there and just freeing your teammates up for a 4v2 is going to be massive, especially when you want to just have a lot more paint than the other team on your on the zone especially. You know, and the hammer paint so much is special. We really don't give it a lot of credit. Like, you see it right there. It stayed in the zone for maybe 2 seconds and it painted a good third of it. It's kind of got some crazy paint, even for like a super offensive, aggressive special. And Graveyard has been using it really well as a team, just capitalizing off of the space and picks it creates really, really well.
Yeah, 100%. Ultra Step is like one of those pseudo painting specials, especially on zones, because there are plenty of times where I will be playing Whipper on a Splatstones game, and I would just like panic to like neutralize a zone with Stamp, and it would just work like 9 times out of 10. So it's a really good option when it comes to just getting that like extra paint option that you do need. But right now we are going into our game 4 being Barnacle Clambless, I'm pretty sure, which I always say like it's like pretty much like the same structure as Mahi in terms of map layout. They're both like really similar maps. Barnacle just having just being slightly more open with slightly more cover. So it's gonna be interesting to see what strats are gonna be pulled out by each team. I do feel like Driving with Influence is going to stick with like the original strat that they did have regarding like the massive AoE that they did have on the last game. We're going to have to see right now, and I'm not entirely in the wrong. They are running the long Blue Rapid alongside the Neo Machine, and meanwhile Graveyard is sticking with the same comp that they have been going for. This comp has been winning them the past 3 games. It doesn't seem like that they're going to be switching off anytime soon, but once again we do see Driving with Influence taking a really aggressive opening, but the zap does go down early, and with the zap going down early, that cooler is going to be delayed, and that's going to allow Graveyard to have a really good push into Driving with Influence's territory.
Yeah, as we see already, the picks are really opening up just all of Graveyard to get these 2 power claims in already. They're down to 60 points. We're barely 40 seconds into the game. However, 3 of them do go down. It's just Kareem left on that bucket, and they're going to have to hold for as long as possible for the rest of the teammates to get back. And they really can't die here. They have 6 clams. If you die with more than like 3 or 4 clams, you're really hurting your team's economy. And they're going to stand strong sail. I pop these strikes on the crab as well, shut it down before DWI can really get anything going with said crab tank. But they do have a Trizuka as well to try and get some picks going here. Are they going to be able to pop it in time? No, not quite. 2 members are going to go down to Raveyard, taking some great fights here. However, that player is going to find a trade onto Kareem. That's great stuff, just to stall out a little bit. But with the rest of the team in a lot of trouble right now, it's not going to amount to much, as Bloomin is going to have to jump out and Raveyard is back on the offensive.
Raveyard was able to very quickly like turn the tides around in mid, and now they once again have the control. But now Driving with Influence with that crowd tank ready, and with 2 members on the side of Raveyard tracked, are gonna try to like, get a push back in. But once again, Ace is behind them with the stamp, just diverting as much attention as they can, and that distraction is able to help a lot with Kit getting that pick in order to try to reverse the situation. But now with 1 down on the side of Raveyard, it looks like that Driving with Influence is gonna keep mid control once again, as 2 go down on the side of Raveyard once again. And with this Wiper alone on this left side, it looks like that they might be put in a little bit of a pickle here, but they don't really get committed to yet. Driving with Influence, waiting for that cooler to try to push back in, getting the crab tank set up, and with almost every single member of Reaper getting cleared out by these specials, Driving with Influence is going to be able to get their very first score of the game. But Cat on the flank is able to get 1. Will they be able to get 2? No, but they get immediately traded out by a teammate, and now Raveyard is able to make a really good push back in, potentially going to try to score again with that early pick on the zap. And now with that cooler delayed once again, it looks like that Raveyard is going to snowball this further. Right now the Sasha does throw the power climb forward to try to like make something happen, to try to pass it to a teammate, it seems, but they do get taken down. And with all of Raveyard being cleared out, Driving with Influence is back in mid, trying to get some paint down, maybe trying to get a cooler, and trying to get a push of their own into the enemy side of the map.
Yeah, Driving with Influence has yet to make a big lead though, and that crab tank was going to be a really big part in getting that offensive going. But Ace with that hammer toss is going to find the pick on Bloomin immediately. That Zuka from IMAD is going to not find anything quite yet. IMAD is going to go down to Kareem in the bucket, 1v1 on that bottom right of the map. And Ace is already getting aggressive again with that Zuka from Cat, and that's going to mean Driving Influence is going to be fighting a 3v4 again, and Raveyard is moving all the way back onto the top of the plat of Driving with Influence, and that means that Bloomin's going to have to jump out, going to get picked off before they can jump by Cat, and now Raveyard is just scoring again. They have not really stopped since the start of this game.
Raveyard continuing with their scores, as you said, but this time it's going to be much more value in terms of the scores, as they had a lot more, they have a larger clam economy that they can work with here, and now they're able to bring the score all the way down to 23, and it might just keep going as Sif is, or I don't know how to pronounce the name, but the heavy edit is able to get a good pick on Driving with Influence, and while they aren't able to score for any longer, it does seem like the Raveyard is just keeping mid. It's just keeping total mid control, trying to control as much of the map as they possibly can. And with 1 down on the side of Driving with Influence, it does seem like that they're going to commit to a fight. 2 down on the side of Driving with Influence, 2 down on the side of DWI, and now Raveyard is looking to push back in. That cooler is not in a good spot. That cooler is basically a waste on the side of Driving with Influence, and now Raveyard is able to get a score and are able to get the KO on the side of DWI. Really good play on the side of Raveyard to just bait out any aggression coming out from DWI and then immediately strike back with aggression of their own. Really well done.
Yeah, they have been dominant, especially on this map, only letting DWI really capitalize off of one set of picks and get a score off. And even then, that score wasn't massive. It was just that first power climb that we saw from them. Raveyard really just playing incredibly clean for most of that, you know, and again, those 1v1 wins from Kareem and Ace, especially in the like mid to end game, really sealed the deal for them and allowed them to get that KO. Just, you know, constantly forcing DWI to play like with the man down all the time. And same thing with this flank from Cat. just shutting down the entire play from DWI. Getting only a pick, forcing the IMAT on the machine to look back at you is also just huge for taking a lot of pressure, alleviating it off of the rest of your teammates. And we saw that work so well for Raveyard here.
Yes, Raveyard was just throughout this that was able to play around these flanks really well, not just for picks, but just to like take attention away from the rest of their teammates so that they could follow up and then strike back on DWI with an even stronger attack than they were going to provide themselves. But now DWI is on the back foot. They're gonna have to win 5 consecutive games if they want to reverse sweep and take back the set. And they're gonna possibly want to try to do that on this game 5, being on ship-shaped tower control. And ship-shaped tower control, personally, one of my favorite map modes. It's pretty like AoE focused, but you could also get away with like more paint-heavy stuff here as well. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the DWI is gonna try to get the download here on this particular map mode.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the AoE from DWI is going to have a great spot here. A lot of places for them to play around. However, they are going to have to deal with some of that open space eventually, especially in the courtyard, where players like Ace on that Wiper are going to have a field day just running around, being hard to hit, and constantly just swinging at you with the Wiper, being an annoying little gnat. Trying to make the whole team just look at you while the rest of them can free hit, basically. I'm really curious to see if DWI can find answers on this map. It looks like they're just going to go with a 52 gal rather than the double AoE that they've been running. So 52 gal Wiper into, again, that tried and true bucket Wiper headed shot comp that we've been seeing from Raveyard.
A complete pace switch coming out on the side of DWI. I'm going from more chip damage focus in the team comps to much more aggression with that Wiper and Gal. Right now we do see Aman on the top left trying to make something happen on the top left with that wall. However, they do go down earlier. However, with two down on the side of Raveyard, this does open up the map a little bit for DWI for a potential push to be made. Right now we do see Kanazab trying to put down paint, and we do see Shay really push up on this bottom right side. Is able to get a direct on someone, but they don't get the kill. But either way, it does get traded out immediately. But with 2 down on the side of DWI, it doesn't seem like that they could carry the early momentum that they have gotten in this game. And with 1 down on the side of DWI with Raveyard with the numbers advantage, it does seem like that Raveyard will make a push back in. However, there's just a constant amount of trades coming out, and with Bloomin on the stamp, it's getting 1. Will they be able to get 2? No, the Zuka cancels it, and the Zuka's able to get 2. A really nice stop to the push with that Zuka, and now Raveyard let's have an opportunity to try to make a pushback of their own, as Cat is able to get another kill with that bomb through the wall. It seemed like that Matt was just dead behind the wall. It seemed that's really unfortunate, but either way, Raveyard is in a really good spot in order to try to carry on this push, despite the fact that they're low on numbers. They're just able to equalize these they're just able to get these very equalizing picks, and they're just back in on the front foot right now.
Yeah, Raveyard really able to just slow things down, try and shut down any members of DWI like Bloomin on that hammer, who's like on a bit of a streak, but Raveyard able to shut that down is going to be huge for them. Now they're already past that first checkpoint. Sayora did go down though, I believe, but so did Shaded of the side of DWI, as well as Kai, and it's going to mean that Raveyard is going to already aggress onto the second checkpoint here. Kareem going to pop those strikes to try and force people off of that left side plat and force them to deal with the bucket on that right side. Deadly, especially at those differing vertical angles. Shaded is going to find the pick onto the flanking Ace, though, while Kareem is going to take that second checkpoint, and Cat is going to try and keep up this aggression. But with 2 members on the side of Raveyard going down, it's going to be a little bit difficult for that. Cat is going to pop the Zuka to sustain the pressure, though, and that means that Raveyard is going to, be able to stay in the courtyard of DWI for now.
Raveyard could potentially KO the game, however, they weren't able to do it right there. However, they are opting to just let the tower reset to mid and just reset their aggression, maybe bait out a little bit of aggression from driving with influence like they're doing right now, as the Gal goes down early However, 1-for-1 trade does go out on the side of each
What?
end. However, the bomb gets 2 on the side of Raveyard, and this could open up a lot of stuff for Raveyard. However, Driving with Influence is able to get the equalizing picks needed, but Ace is behind them again. Ace is able to get 1 with the stamp. Will the stamp be able to get 2? No, the stamp doesn't get 2. However, Ace does get 2, gets 3, does get the really nice stamp cancel, and now with Driving with Influence, with Raveyard is just completely set up right now with Ace on this top left, and now that they're all cooler, they could just constantly get like the trades that they need in order to keep up the aggression. However, since they did go 2 down, it does slow them down a little bit, but since they're cool, they're able to come back fast and get those cooler jumps back in and continue to sustain the middle of the map with 2 going down on the side of Driving with Influence again. Raveyard doing a really good job at just cycling their pushes with cooler, and as well as just mixing up their aggression as well. Now that they're approaching the last 9 points, Driving with Influence has to make a play, and this damn could be the saving grace that Driving with Influence needs. It does get 1, and with 2 down on the side of Raveyard, and now Raveyard now currently staggered right now. It does seem like that the push will end currently. However, Driving with Influence does have a long way to go if they want to run this back.
Yeah, they have to get all the way down to 4 points or better to bring this back, and it's looking really good for Raveyard, especially with Ace finding a pick on the Blueman. However, they're going to get traded immediately after that. 2 members down on the side of Raveyard. It's going to mean that Driving with Influence is going to be 2 up, make that 3 up. However, Cat is going to hold strong right on this first checkpoint, finding the pick onto the IMAD, who's riding the tower, but 2 members of Driving with Influence are able to follow up. Shaded is going to stay on that tower, provide some jumps, but going to have to jump out. It's just Blueman left standing, and now Driving with Influence is in a really, really tough spot with only Hammer and Whale remaining and 30 seconds left.
Yes, Driving with Influence needs to get a very good push in, and they cannot really make any mistakes going forward into this push as they only have 20 seconds. And with this push being the last push that they need all the help that they can get. And that pick could help with that. They get 2 down on the side of Raveyard, and with those numbers down, they need to like get a push going. However, those strikes on the Slosher can do wonders at stopping this push and ending the game right here. And here come the strikes. The strikes don't really knock anyone off tower, but however, the strikes does get 1. And with 2 down on the side of Driving with Influence, all Raveyard needs to do is just pinch through the tower.
What?
With 3 down on the side of Driving with Influence, Raveyard is able to take this game 5 and is able to get the sweep on Driving with Influence in this week 4 Division 8A match on the league tonight.
Yeah, great stuff to end that off for Kareem, especially finding that 4K absolutely massive, almost getting the jump too, but Raveyard able to just end the game before that can even happen. Just full control from start to finish on the side of Raveyard throughout this entire map. Now, granted, Blueman did have a really solid, I believe that was 2 picks from them there, but Cat able to shut down the Zuka on a fully functioning Hammer special. Definitely threw a wrench into things for DWI, as well as getting that 2nd pick and a 3rd that we didn't even see immediately after. And then I don't know how Ace managed to get behind Shaded here, or, you know, just generally, Ace has been able to get behind everybody throughout the entire set. All night long, Ace has found these incredible flanks. Getting 3 there was huge, and now the strikes from Kareem here. Finding a pick onto somebody being back on tower a little bit early, getting the pick onto IMAD as well before they can aggress onto Kareem and Cat, and then just that super strong AoE from Bucket, just hitting all the way through that tower, finding a 70 pick as well as a kill. Absolutely massive stuff, and that really just sealed the deal for Raveyard here on the 5-0.
Yes, 100%. Raveyard was just playing almost, I would say almost perfectly throughout this whole entire set. Their fights were like really clean. All the fights that they were taking were absolutely solid fights that they should be taking, and they were just like playing really together as a team. They were doing a really good job with playing around numbers advantages and playing around the distraction that Ace would create for them, as well as any deploy pushes and any push situations that they could create, like we see right here. We're just able to push to the tower in this situation, and we're able to get 3. And Driving with Influence had no chance in order to get the tower back. But right now, Raveyard is currently 2-2. I don't know where that leads them in the leaderboard right now. If we're thinking realistically, they will probably have to play one. They probably have to win 1 more in order to get a chance. But we're gonna be looking at the bracket right now. They are currently 2-2 in their matches.
Standings wise, that puts them in a 3-way tie with Diamond Dust and Fresh Boots right now for 2nd. First place is going to be Last Squid Standing. They have not dropped the set quite yet. But that's going to put this last week is going to be incredibly important for all of Group B and 8A. Diamond Dust, Fresh Boots, and Raveyard are fighting it out. I believe Diamond Dust and Fresh Boots are going to be playing each other in round 5, and Raveyard is going to be playing against Coughing Baby. So that's going to have some huge implications next week. You're going to want to keep your eyes peeled for that one to see who gets that final spot in the group at the end there.
Yes, 100%. That's going to be a really important set for Raveyard to win, and for any of the teams in the three-way tie to win, actually, as one mistake could just like be wraps for that. And speaking of wraps, that's going to be it for Ludi tonight on the SplatoonTourney1 channel. So Sig, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on just about any social media at SigDokar. You'll see it right in that kind of bottom right area, spelled like that. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Blue Sky, Discord. Wherever you need to find me, you can find me there. Virus, where can everybody find you, man?
You could find me on @thenamesvirus on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch as well. Do not mind the the Twitter on the bottom right of my name. That has been recently updated. However, you can find me with that specific @thenamesvirus, at VIRXZ, on any of the social media platforms.
I believe that is going to cap it off for Ludi tonight on SplatoonTourney1. Huge thanks to Jarian for running the stream for both this set and the set prior. Huge W's. Great stuff. And I think that'll do it from Virus and I.
Yeah, that's basically gonna be it for you two guys, but that's gonna be it actually for all of you tonight for the week 4, because Sunday is over, and basically in a matter of ETA, like 3 hours and 14 minutes, the week 4 is gonna be over, and then it's gonna be week 5 actually. So yeah, stick around for week 5 coming up this week. Maybe there might be streamers for you tonight, but there might not be. At the same time with Apple too, there might be, it might not be, because a certain land is gonna be coming up this weekend. Do you want to say it?
Oh yeah, Gridlock in New York City at, I think it's Brookland again, right?
Yep, Brooklyn, same place again. 2-day event on Saturday and Sunday. So if you want to watch that, it would be on Gen Game. Twitch.tv, that's Gen Game on Saturday and Sunday.
Y'all gonna want to tune into that. Some premier LAN tournament production from New York City. Y'all gonna have a blast watching it. Jarian, are you going to that event?
I am going to that event again. So
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, and also at the same time, one of our other producers, right, and also one of our commentators, Jordan or Sudoku, is actually going as well. So be sure to watch out for all of us actually coming there, and also some of our other members as well too. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. But that's if you see there's not many streams, that's most of the reason why. So remember to enjoy your lands, all that stuff, and also any other events coming up. I think there is Super Jump 2 next week, isn't it? Or Super Jump 3.
I believe there's Super Jump 2 next week. There's the Chicago Monthly, I believe, in a couple weeks as well. There's always a Chicago tournament just every month. I have to double check the details on that one. Sunset Surge is going to be coming up pretty soon as well. Just a bunch of these local monthly tournaments. Y'all got to check in, see if there are any of these near you. They're so fun to go to, and I 100% recommend if you guys do ever want to try it, just go for it.
And yeah, now that officially will be it for all the updates. Remember that map should be coming out tomorrow, like maybe 12 UTC, and then there's going to be remember to schedule your matches week 5, and also reschedule week is going to be next week. So if anyone did not play or ask for reschedule, you'll be playing it next week. Remember to play those, or else you get an FF. And then after that, it's going to be bracket. So yeah. Okay.
My heart goes out to all the teams that have a whole bunch of matches on the reschedule week. But y'all got this, I believe.
Oh yeah, good luck, y'all.
Oh yeah, Dare 3, Group D, Crossfire. Yep, that group, the group of hell.
Oh.
So yeah, yep. It's time to kiss night. Say good night.
Have a good night, y'all. Hope I'll have a good one and play some good Splatoon this week.
It's time to final sleep. Yippee!
Yeah.